Greeting internet friends, welcome to another episode of Dabbling with Dan. Today Dan is going to be dabbling in replacing a part on my Hustler Zero Turn 42 I've had this mower for over 10 years, and I went to activate the blades to cut the grass and they wouldn't turn on, and I was trying to figure out if it's electrical or if it's mechanical. Well, it turned out to be mechanical. So this is who I got it from, Extreme Outdoor Power Equipment. This ran me about $170. All right. I imagine this part's going to come off. No impact guns. I also want to check the system voltage. Incorrect bolt torque or faulty voltage will destroy this clutch and void the warranty. So we don't want to do any of that. Right here, this mechanism is broken on mine. And I'll show you up close the difference between the new one and the old. Here's my current unit, and you see how this bottom metal plate is basically it's disconnected from the actual clutch. And of course here's a new one. So side by side comparison, you can clearly see there's an issue. Go ahead and remove this decal, and we'll go ahead and install this. Okay, I went ahead and took a moment and I cleaned off that warning decal that was on the top of it. So you can kind of see the key that goes all the way through. And it's also got these little slots that will lock into part of the frame. And of course, here's the electrical plug. Okay, let's go ahead and set this to the side, and let's go ahead and start to disassemble. Okay, the first step I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this electrical connection. All right. And this is the belt that actually drives the actual blades. I'm going to go ahead and just pull that out. Kind of push it out of the way. This is the nut that we're going to remove. It needs to come out so this clutch unit can come down. It is a 5/8 inch, and I do have my impact to remove it. Okay. The blaster. Go ahead and put some up in here. Just let that kind of set up in there. Give it some time. Okay, what I've decided to do is cut a couple notches in this old clutch shaft so I can put a pulley puller on there. And the only way to do it is get down here and cut. Making progress. Of course, heating that up will help too. And loosening it up. That's hot. So the goal is to get this in there. Which that does work to a point. Let's see if all this work was okay. All right, let's see if this worked. There we go. Well, I got part of it. Got this puller here. It'll be somewhat temperamental to get it up on there, but we'll get it started. All right, and now I'm just going to use my impact and hopefully be able to get this thing off. Let's see. Voila. Per the instructions of the new clutch installation, they recommend that you use a little bit of WD-40 and some fine sandpaper to clean any burrs and or debris or just maybe like old gunk. So I'm going to go ahead and use my WD-40 here, give it a little spray, and then take my, got some 400 grit sandpaper, and just clean this shaft so that the new bearing will slide on there very easily. Definitely cleaned up some, but I'm going to put a little anti-seize on this shaft. So I won't have, or the next person won't have such a hard time taking this thing off. So I have some red Loctite, and I'm going to go ahead and put some of that on the threads of the bolt that we're going to be reusing. And I'll tell you what that torque is when we get to that point. Okay, we'll set that to the side. Okay, the challenge is lining up this key with the clutch key, and then also part of the clutch mechanism has to be secured right in this area of this frame so the clutch doesn't spin. I gotta rotate this a little bit this way. And this is surprisingly difficult. Lines up like so. And again, that to line up with the key. So I'm just going to try to snug it up. Help pull it up. Alright, we're pretty darn close. Now I got to figure out how to kind of hold this or lock this so I can torque this down. Now you might find this helpful. So this came with the clutch, and it's saying based on whatever bolt size you have and the grade of bolt that's in there, these are the torques. So I got to figure out which one I have, but I'll leave that up there for a second. Alright, this is going to be kind of challenging for me, but I did find a tool that I could kind of hold on to that D-spacer. And I'm going to get my torque wrench in here. Hopefully I'll be able to get that thing torqued down. Feel like it's almost close, but there she be. I took a moment and I went ahead and put the belt that actually drives the tires and whatnot, and this is the belt for the blades. Pulley up there. But just want to pull it on to the new clutch, making sure that I don't put my fingers between the belt and the metal clutch. I'll make sure the pulleys in the front there are tracking right. Now we got to connect the electrical. Well, looks good. Okay, so the clutch is installed, the bolts torqued to the right specs, the electrical's all plugged up and ready to go. This clutch installation took me about 2 hours. I would rate it as a moderately difficult task, but this is the clutch company and I'm pretty pleased with it. One tool I think you should definitely invest in if you're going to do this yourself is one of these pullers. That was extremely helpful. But I did want to share something with regard to putting these on. What Extreme Equipment states that the important final step, it says use an open area with no bystanders, reduce the engine RPM to half and engage the clutch. Allow the blades to reach full speed for a few seconds, disengage blades and allow them to completely stop. Repeat 10 times. Shut the engine off and check the blades and the clutch bolt torque, which is right here to make sure it didn't loosen out. If the new clutch is not burnished, it may warp and shorten its life. So that's what you're doing there. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and get it off the jack stands, take it out, and go ahead and do this final step. But thanks again for joining me. I have a little subscribe button in the corner if you want to click on it. And again, thanks for joining me, everybody. Y'all have a good day. Take care. Bye.